Let's talk about movies. I watch movies. I'm assuming you watch movies because you had to get here somehow. March. The month of March. A lot happens in the month of March. St. Patty's Day. Shout out Charlie Day. I like Patty's Club. If you're into sports, there's March Madness. I don't really care, but that's still a thing that happens. It's a big thing. In the month of March, McDonald's brings back the Shamrock Shake. So, it's a good month. This video, these are the movies that I watched in March. This is stolen from Karsten. I don't know how to say his last name, but it's there. And Nick is Not Green. I think he did it on one of his side channels. He Said Us. The difference is, though, that I don't know what I'm talking about, and I don't have an audience. This is purely for my own entertainment. But if you are here watching, thanks for being here. That's awesome. Starting the month out strong, I watched 2007's Holes. That was wrong. That's a wrong factoid. It's from 2003. Holes, it's a great movie. It's a fantastic movie. It's a staple of my childhood. I grew up with Holes. I think it's funny that sometimes they'll say, oh, Holes, and people won't know what I'm talking about. It's funny how, movies eventually, lose popularity. That sounds stupid, because obviously, but, yeah. I've never read the book, which is probably something I should have done at some point. But from what I've heard, it's a really, true adaptation, which I can appreciate, because I've always loved to read, and movies are often, not as good as the books, because the movies can't really, have all the detail. So I do appreciate that it's, a close rendition. Also, one of the things that launched Shia LaBeouf's career. I rewatched this movie 11 days later, because I watched it first on Disney Plus, because I wanted to. And then it was on TV 11 days later, and I was like, okay. And I sat, and I watched the whole thing. 5 stars. And then I watched The Hangover. I love The Hangover. I always have. Again, a staple of my childhood, even though it shouldn't be. I grew up with this movie. Anytime you're feeling down, put on The Hangover, you're gonna laugh. It's, a timeless comedy. Obviously, there's outdated jokes, don't get me wrong. But you could be having the worst day ever, and Zach Galifianakis will make you laugh.
Hey, guys. You ready to let the dogs out?
What? Do what?
Let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out? Who?
Who brought this guy along?
I thought I gave it 5 stars, but it's actually 4.5. I watched this 5 days later, because I watched it on my own because I was bored. And I was telling Mom, hey, I was watching The Hangover again. And she was like, without me? So I went home that weekend, and we watched The Hangover again. And then I watched The Crucible. I had to watch this in my English class. It's kind of boring, if I'm being completely honest. It has Winona Ryder. I love Winona Ryder. It's very slow. It feels old. And it's from the 80s. I love 80s movies, but since it's set in, a further time period, it feels even older. And it's just kind of boring. I really preferred, reading it in class, because we're acting it, together, and it's way more entertaining. And I go to an art school, so the theater kids, dude, they were giving it their all. It was so much fun. I gave it 3 stars. Though if I was reviewing it now, I'd probably give it less. And then I watched 2007's Surf's Up. This is one of my older brother's favorite movies, so of course I grew up with it. And it's just so cool. Surfing penguins, and filmed animated like a documentary. Had anything like that been done before Surf's Up? Because if not, pioneer. Also, it has a killer soundtrack. The soundtrack's so good, I listen to it on its own sometimes. Oh my god, the fade from Cody's monologue to Drive by Incubus.
Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me. When is that gonna start?
It's so good. 5 stars. After that, I watched the Even Stevens movie. I'm a 2005 baby. I'm 17, gonna be 18 this year. And Even Stevens was a show running on the Disney Channel from 2000 to 2003. So I missed it. This wasn't in my time. So the end of February, beginning of March, I binged all 3 seasons. And it's so good. I was thinking of making that a video, like, not really a retrospective, but the way even Stevens, like, portrays family. Because I love it so much. So I finished the show. Obviously, had to watch the movie next. The movie's a really good ending. The show had a really good ending. I loved the last episode.
As long as I live, I'm never gonna meet anybody like you.
I'm gonna miss you so much. I love you, Tawny.
I love you, Louis.
I don't know. I think it ties up everything really well. Even though there's not really much to tie up. It's just them having, like, a bigger adventure. A bigger, like, situation. But it's really good. Great movie. I gave that 4 stars. And I give the show, I'm going to include the show with this, 5 stars. Because the movie, I get, like, since it's a movie, you want, like, the sentimental stuff at the end. But I just wish there's more of that. Because each episode of Even Stevens ended with someone learning a lesson or them, like, showing the importance of family, you know? And I loved that aspect. Immediately after we watched the Even Stevens movie, like, the same night, my brother said, let's watch Honey Boy now. So, I watched Honey Boy. This is Shia LaBeouf's, like, story of being a child actor. There's a lot of references to Even Stevens, which is really fun, especially after you just binge the entire show. I don't know, it's really, like, sad story, like, the things that happened to him, but now we know that, like, a lot of it is fabricated. Like, he said himself in interviews that he vilified his dad.
And I wrote this narrative, which was just fucking nonsense. My dad was so loving to me my whole life. Fractured, sure. Crooked, sure. Like, wonky for sure. But never was not loving. Never was not there. He was always there. He was always there.
So it's very exaggerated, but assuming that most of it is true, it's very sad. The pool scene, dude, when he says,
I want to make a movie about you. You're making a movie about me? Well, make me look good, honey boy.
tears. It was so good. But I gave it 3 stars because it was very slow. Like, a lot of times it lost me. And I think it was just, like, the pacing of it. Next movie I watched was After Sun. I had been wanting to see this one, like, since the Oscar nominees got announced, but I just never got around to it. So I finally watched it, like, after the Oscars and everything. Fantastic film. I watched it with my mom, and she didn't really like it. Like, she didn't get it. She said nothing was happening. And I think, like, that's the point, you know? There's no linear story that we're following. There kind of is. But going into it, we know that it's a movie based on memories. And it's just memories. It hit me hard. And I don't have that aspect of... Spoilers, by the way, for, like, every movie I'm going to talk about. I don't have that aspect of, like, losing a parent to death, you know? Losing a parent, whatever, but not to death. But it still really hit me, because that's going to be a reality one day, which I hate thinking about. But also, I think it's because I'm just coming out of childhood and moving towards adulthood, and the memories are just so childlike, because obviously we're seeing it through the eyes of a child. And it's so nostalgic for somewhere I wasn't even there. I don't know, it's a beautiful film. Beautiful. And it brought me to tears. 4.5 stars. But honestly, it might be a 5. I watched The Battle of Shaker Heights. Are you seeing a pattern here? You should be. After Even Stevens and, like, Honey Boy and stuff, I decided I'm gonna watch Shia LaBeouf's movies. White Boy of the Month. Yeah, he's done some stuff, but you can't deny that he's a good actor. He's a great actor. And something about 2003 Shia LaBeouf, man. I'm 17, it's okay. Okay, The Battle of Shaker Heights. Not very well known, maybe. And the reviews on letterboxd are mainly negative. They think it's like boring and there's no plot. I actually really enjoyed it. I think that there is a plot. It's just a lot happening like back to back. But I think it still ties together well, and that's what like life is, like a bunch of stuff happening. I don't know, I just thought it was like a nice coming of age movie. Easy to follow. It was just nice. I liked it. 3.5 stars. I said I was gonna watch Shia LaBeouf movies. So I watched his short film. It was like one of the projects he was doing called Take Me Anywhere. He would release like his coordinates each day, and people would pick him up and take them wherever they wanted, which is insane. I would be terrified. It was really nice like seeing all these different parts of America, and like just the way different people are like living their lives, and each person has something to say, and they each have like their favorite thing or their favorite place that they're showing Shia. And I don't know, people are just cool sometimes, and I liked it. 3 stars. And then I watched Eagle Eye, Shia LaBeouf movie. This one had me stressed out, especially towards the end, because like, oh my god. I'll get into that in a second, so like spoilers. I don't know, something about 2000s like action movies. They're good, they're really fun. The concept of this is terrifying, like being forced to do something. It's like a Saw situation, but like not that intense. Spoilers, finding out that it was AI the entire time, that's so scary, especially with like the future that we're currently in and like what's coming up. Like that's really scary because the AI gained like sentience, I think, and decided it needed to kill a bunch of people. Yeah, the ending had me stressed out. I think I shed a few tears, which is kind of embarrassing, but at the end where he goes into the White House and he knows like the only way to save all these people is to get himself in trouble, and he shoots the gun. I thought he was dead. I thought he was gone, and I was so scared. 3.5 stars. I watched Megan. It was actually really fun. I liked it a lot. There's some really good kill scenes. And again, robots and AI. It's scary, man. But it's a really cool movie. I liked it. Though I did still give it 3 stars. Feeling a little pretentious. It should be given slightly more. And then my mom realized that I was on a Shia LaBeouf kick. And she said we had to watch Fury. Because she loves Brad Pitt. So we watched Fury. I don't really care for war movies. It's kind of like boring. But I did like this one. I think a few times it felt like long and I kind of like zoned out, but it was really good. And of course the ending, like the scene in the tank with the Bible quote,
And I said, here am I. Send me.
made me cry. Everyone getting knocked out like one by one made me cry. It's a really good movie. Fantastic acting. Brought me to tears. 4 stars. And then I watched Constantine. I think like religious imagery is so cool. I thought it was really cool. It kind of felt like a very long episode of Supernatural, because I was a very big Supernatural fan. Keanu's awesome. Demons are awesome. The Archangel, Gabriel, awesome. Shia LaBeouf was in it. But it was a good movie. I liked it. 3 stars. Then I watched Disturbia. Disturbia is such like a strange concept. Like he's just stalking people. But imagine being on house arrest, your mom takes away like all your electronics. You have nothing to do. Like for however long it was. I think he was supposed to be on trial for like 3 months. Imagine that. I'd start watching The Neighbors too. I'd start observing the neighborhood. And that's what he was doing. This is another movie that had me super stressed. Because it kept going back and forth between, is that guy the killer or is he not? And then the ending where like Shia, what's his character? Kale. That's a terrible, I hate his name. Kale. Kale is like going through the house and like looking for his mom and looking for the bodies and stuff. I was so stressed. Not scared, just like stressed. 3.5 stars. I actually really liked it. And then I watched American Honey. Shia. This wasn't one of them that like I was gonna watch, but I saw a picture of Shia LaBeouf with an eyebrow piercing, and I was like, okay, I'm in. So I started it, and it actually ended up being really, really good. I thought this was a fantastic movie. It's 3 hours long, and it moves kind of slow, but it doesn't really feel slow, you know? You get sucked into it, and you really just start, like, living life with these characters, because they're so real. This film is so, like, raw and human. It's just a bunch of people. Like, I saw one review, I think it's the most liked review on letterboxd, that said, like, these are faces you see. These are, like, people you see at Walmart, people you see, like, out walking, like, it's just so real, like, these characters. The cinematography, oh my goodness. The cinematography in American Honey is so good. I loved every second of it. The aesthetic of the movie is so good. I loved it. From start to finish, it was so good. The ending, oh my god, the ending. There's not, like, a big thing. It's not, like, I don't know, it's just very soft, quiet ending, if that makes sense. But it's so nice, and it made me cry. 5-star movie. I thought it was fantastic. Then moving on, I don't know why this is on letterboxd, but hashtag introductions, or just introductions. This is just the Shia LaBeouf thing, you know, the
Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
you know, it's the just do it meme. It's like half an hour, and the just do it is like what came from it. But there's actually some good monologues in it, and again, it shows off like Shia LaBeouf's acting. And I don't know why I'm talking like in depth when it's just him in front of a green screen. It's a fun watch. I didn't give it any stars, but I gave it a little heart. I had fun. The last movie I watched of March, I watched this on March 31st when it came out, was Prom Pact. This is a Disney original, but I really liked it. I had seen tweets saying it's marketed more towards like teens and young adults, which they have like teen movies and stuff, but they also like tween, you know? There's a lot of jokes in it that I'm surprised they got away with, like the P and V jokes. But if it were on Disney Channel instead, then they would not have gotten away with that. The actual story, it's really sweet. I thought that it was gonna be like a best friends to lovers, which I enjoy that trope, but it was still like really, really cute. Like, it was a good movie. It's easy to like root for these characters, you know? And then also when they do something wrong, you can like, you know, that doesn't make sense, but I was talking to the screen quite a few times. But yeah, it was a really cute movie. 3.5 stars. And that's what I watched in March. If you found this video and you made it all the way through, like, thank you. That's really cool. But yeah, maybe I might like upload more. I might start uploading. I don't know, I have a camera now. I love rambling about stuff. And yeah. Thanks for watching. Go follow my letterboxd. It's in the description.